So let's go ahead and start with the quote of the night because that it says it's about what's been going on. Okay, I can't speak apparently. This is what happens when you're like, I must get home from work and then I must do this and I must cram food and anyway. Actually, before the quote, let's do the chapstick because I didn't do that. Okay. So the quote of the night is luck is where opportunity meets preparation. And that's by Seneca. Pretty sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. And yeah, so I've been in planning and waiting stage off and on, mostly on since December. Planning things, reevaluating those things, planning new things, reevaluating those things, planning things, and just back and forth pretty much since December. It's exhausting. I like to get to plan, decide what we're doing, do all the research and budgeting and all of that, and then when the time comes, pull the trigger and go. Like, okay, it's go time. And I haven't been able to do that really because there's been too much big things that need to happen that are making me have to wait on literally everything else. I splurged a little bit last weekend because was it last weekend? Was that last weekend or the weekend before? I don't even remember now. Too much blur. I think it might have been last weekend. Anyway, I got a little chainsaw, like a handheld chainsaw, because I needed to be able to do something. Like waiting was just driving me nuts. It was bumming me out, bringing me down. And I was like, I'll get this little chainsaw and I'll start taking care of something that I know needs to be taken care of. Not just for fun, but also stuff that I've been like working towards. Because I have this huge yard, have all these overgrown things. I have invasive vines. I have all this stuff. And I was like, if I could, because I've gotten it trimmed back to a mostly manageable state, but it's still a lot of work every year. And what I'd really like to do is be able to cut things down and back efficiently so that I can continue to make progress on that front. So I was like, okay, the next step is like bigger things. It's not just the little clippers. It's not my lawnmower. It's not, it was a lot of work, and it's still a lot of work. But the next thing is not just managing that stuff, but expanding the managed area so that hopefully it'll be less tedious. So I needed something a little bit bigger. I'd researched a chainsaw. I was, getting ready to start delving into, okay, proper chainsaw usage and how to, be safe and all that. And then I discovered this little hand chainsaw, and I was like, that would actually be perfect for pretty much everything that I'm serious about doing right now. Now, is it possible I will need something bigger later? Yes. And it's possible I will still buy a chainsaw. I kind of don't think I will. Like, if I really needed to have some serious work done, we have a neighbor that has a tree trimming business, and I'm just like, maybe I'll just be in a position at that point to see how much a trimming might cost. It might be worth it to just get it done by someone else, or it may be worth it to get an actual chainsaw at that point. But for what I need right now, that little chainsaw tool was perfect. So I purchased it, and then I cut all of my wood that I had piled up that needed to be cut down, and I was like, okay, that helped a lot. It made me feel like I was doing something. It made me feel like I was being productive towards a big goal I have, which is getting my yard into a state where it's not so daunting all the time. And that was really great. But the other big thing that's really been looming is my car. And at first we thought we were going to have to replace our functioning car. We had a functioning car that really, like, it was pushing it to function. It had suspension issues and braking issues and tire issues, all kinds of stuff. So we were like, we should just get rid of this car. And so we got rid of that car. And then we were able to fix our primary car, and for a lot less than what we thought we would. So it's like, oh, that frees up budget for buying a car, which is a whole new ball game, and it's a whole weird market right now because of how much prices went up during the pandemic and like all this stuff. So I've been deep in obsessively researching the market, both used and new, and seeing like, okay, where could we fit in, discovering tax credits and like manipulating numbers, which is fun stuff for me to do. But it also is like, I like manipulating numbers to a point, but it's like eventually I need to know how much I'm going to spend and how much is going to cost me month over month. And we went and we were like, let's go look at this car. We've looked at a couple other cars. Let's go look at this car and just see, and maybe see what they say about the tax credit, what they say about interest rates, what they do, all that. And we ended up buying the car. And oh my gosh, something's happening in the other room. My husband's being overly dramatic. So instead of just looking, and I didn't expect to purchase the car until June. I expected to have to wait the market out a little bit more, but we got a later model car than I expected. We went with an EV car because we've been researching the hell out of those, and it qualified for the tax credit, and we qualified for the tax credit. And like essentially the dealer was like really straightforward, really like seemed on the up and up with everything. The interest questions were the right answers. Yes. Yeah, real quick. Yes, hello. Um, but like all the answers were within reason of budgeting concerns for me. Just everything was like, that's the right answer. That's doable. This is the right interest. This is the right terms. This is all. I guess we're buying a car. So, yeah, now I have to make sure everything gets paid, um, and just see what it's like living with an electric vehicle. But when we started looking into it, we were really like discussing with ourselves because we're not going to get rid of the car we have now. It's a combustion engine car. Because it'll be better for long distances and, you know, depending on, and then we have two cars, so my husband can start looking into part-time work or whatever. Um, but yeah, it just kind of happened, and it like it wasn't just like it fell into our laps, like we had to make effort to do it. But at the same time, I felt like the quote that I had with the preparation, you know, luck being, you know, opportunity meets preparation kind of thing. It really felt like that. It felt like all this obsessive number crunching and researching and trying to figure out qualifications and like what it would take and how we could get things done. And then we went in and the dealer was like, "Yep, yep, yep, yep." And it was like, "Okay, I I guess we just bought a car." Like, because I'd been really nervous about having to go in and worry about haggling or, you know, making sure we weren't going to get ripped off for weird fees and all of this stuff. And it just, none of that occurred. It was just everything seemed not like 100% idyllic, you know. Uh, well, no, close enough. I mean, considering what we were looking at, what, 2, 3 months ago, budget wise, car wise, age of the car, mileage on the car, you know, like all of the things that we started looking at and where we've ended up is just, it's kind of crazy. And I will not look a gift horse in the mouth. I will be grateful, but I also, you know, like the diligence thing. I still have to be diligent about making sure I manage my finances well and making sure like I had to go back and like really crunch numbers multiple times. And then even after we got all the paperwork and everything signed and the insurance set up, it was like, okay, I still need to know exactly where we're at. And it's doable. You know, we have to be careful, but we were already having to be careful. And yeah, it's kind of crazy how it happened. And I feel very lucky, but I also feel like we prepared quite a bit. And I feel like in doing so, the preparation and then taking the opportunity to get out there and just be able to ask all the right questions and you know, look at all the right things, it was like, all right, well that worked out. And I now have a new car and it's pretty, it's blue. was the color we wanted even. It's crazy. Anyway, so yeah, prepare, look, look for those opportunities, and you may or may not get lucky. Like I said, I thought we'd be waiting quite a while. Um, and I was ready to wait. As frustrating as it was, and as much as I don't like waiting, I was willing to do so. But also, if you put yourself in a position of planning for something and then taking opportunities, and we'd looked at other cars, you know, we had other opportunities that we were like, nope, that's not the right one. Nope, that's not the right one. Um, and then considering a lot of options and yeah, just in the right place at the right time with the right planning and information, and boom. And now I just got to make sure that it stays, financially maintainable. And I'm feeling pretty positive about it. And I'm looking forward to seeing what it's like living with an electric vehicle. I am a bit concerned about potential costs. I know, people like to tout all the savings that you get out of it, but it's also new technology and things like that. So there's potential for increased maintenance costs, less frequent maintenance costs, but increased maintenance costs nonetheless. Um, but I'm curious to see what happens because I feel like I'm feeling really good about it. Actually, my husband was like, when we left, I was thinking we're gonna come home with a car, and I was like, really? Oh, that's cool. I feel like we were both feeling kind of pretty positive about it. Um, and then it happened. So yay, a huge weight has been lifted, and now everything that had to kind of wait or be put on hold or mostly on hold, we can start really getting serious about looking into what's the next things in line priority wise. And that's a great feeling because I felt like I couldn't do too much for fear of messing with financial things that we were still in limbo on. So anyway, yeah, it's been a crazy week so far, and it's only Thursday. So there's my story for the night. So hi, how are you doing?